Season goals. Okay, look, it's me again. Let's talk what the plan is for this season. It's super easy to just show the training highlights, but I figured it makes sense to sort of plan out and share with you guys what my goals are for the season. Not only just what do I plan on doing next year at the World Champs in Tokyo, no, what's the plan for now, approaching the end of October, heading into November, December, moving forward over the next few months. How do we build? What does that phase look like? And what are our main goals to get through the winter? Because since 2012, I believe, I've torn my calf every year in the month of October and November, and last year it was 8 weeks out because I tore it and retore it. Year before, same again. Year before that, I got away with it and ran incredibly well indoors, and the year before that I tore it again, but again I tore it in October, so I was able to get back in time. So the plan is, can we navigate that calf tear? And I am going to be honest, I did have a calf scan, MRI scan yesterday as a precaution because I felt twingy, and I just said to myself, I'm too old and long in the tooth to be getting any more injuries. So scan came back good, trained today, no issues, did 5 mile at the back end at 5:35, 5:40 pace, nice and easy. Still feel twingy, important to note. So I'm aware of something going on there, so I'll show you now what my plans are to navigate that. And the first step is warm weather, hydration, and getting a treadmill so that I'm not having to run on the roads for my second runs. Increased mileage, oh man, brain overload, brain fog. So as you'll remember, I built the man cave and the treadmill arrives tomorrow. So let's go and see that briefly. Hello, Milo. Hello, little man. Parkour! Yeah, he'll have his mad 5 minutes now. The man cave is there, it's built. Let's get outside and I'll show you. But I do have an issue. I can't fit the treadmill inside. Go on, Miley. I can't fit the treadmill inside. I have extended it a little bit because I've already got too much junk. So you'll see that I have increased the outside. It does look a bit of a mess, but it is what it is. A few small changes in here, nothing drastic. Flooring down. Let's get some lights on. Yeah, I've put all the electrics in, and where were we? That was it. The treadmill doesn't fit inside here, so it's a bit of a pickle. So I'm going to show you now what I'm going to have to be doing next. This is 44 inches wide, so, and I think at the moment we've got about 38. I'm going to quickly check it. The issue is I've gone from medical treadmills, the HP Cosmos. It's yeah, it's a big boy. But my theory was, now hear me out. I know this is a little bit flawed. Miley. So my theory is that a medical treadmill comes with a 5mm belt. So it's actually, and a conventional treadmill comes with a 3mm belt. So I've got an extra 2mm of cushion. In theory, I don't know if that's flawed or not. And I thought if it's used for medical treatment, 1, the price tag is incredibly high. 2, you're able to run at a higher pace because they have to be used for testing. And 3, they're not used a lot because they're only used for testing. Whereas the commercial treadmill start at a similar price or even a little bit less because there's less plugins, etc. However, they're used by every Tom, Dick and Harry, so the usage on them is insane. So I went for the HP Cosmos Quasar 4.0, and yeah, it's barely been used. Problem is, big issue here, you can't get parts for those kind of stuff. So in truth, I've gambled it a little bit, but yeah, nevertheless, this isn't wide enough. So it's 44 inches wide. You'll see here, we are currently at roughly 36. So this is where we're up to, about here, 36, and we need 44. So that's gonna put us, if I go to 44 there, so I need to get this much more. So the plan is to take this off, cut open the top, sketchy. The way it's built is it's in slats. So I'm just gonna remove a piece, open it all out a little bit, and then pull it back in, and then just brace the hell out of it with tons and tons of screws, etc. It should be absolutely fine because this piece here can detach at the top, and then it goes into another section, so it shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, I digress. Where were we? Tour of the man cave up until now. Here we have it. So it does need finishing. Roof is still a mess. I do have electrics now, which is also super important. Got my memorabilia up, a little bit cringe, but big fan of both of these people. And yeah, so electrics are further down there also. So the treadmill's gonna get plugged into there. The treadmill's big. Like the treadmill's big, like chunky big.
Damn, boy, he's thick.
It takes up this whole space. So we're talking like 1, 2. So it's over 2 meters. It's over 2 meters. It's massive. Ideally, what I was gonna do was I was gonna have it this way, but there is a flaw. If I have it this way, my fear was that because I'm gonna be in here by myself a lot of the time and there's no one else who's gonna be in here, if something goes wrong, I'm screwed. And if I'm in here and I fall off the belt and I'm wedged up against this, I'm gonna be, the road rash will be insane if I ever fall off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have it this way so that in the event something does bad happen, which could do, I'm not used to running on treadmills, I'm not used to being on a track. If I do get spat out the back, I'm just gonna end up out the back of here. I'll end up spat out the back of here, which I mean, it is what it is. It could be worse. I'm just going to be face planted in the back, and I've marked it out so the line stops around here. So yeah, there's space that if I do come off the back, I can sort of wedge in further down below. And then, of course, because I'm going to get bored, this is meant to be about the season goals and plans, but we've just gone off on a tangent, as I do. And yeah, we're just going to put a big TV on the wall up here, and eventually I'll paint it, but in truth, I just don't care enough. It's in my dungeon, my cauldron. I'm not really bothered about how it looks as much. At some point, I'll clean it up. I'll make it look nice and pretty, but for now, it's warm in here, it's cool in here, and it works. So where were we? Aims, goals, and plans for the season. Let's grab a chair and let's talk it through. Okay, here we have it. I don't have a chair in here. I can't bother to go and get one, so we're gonna roll without one. Do you know what was pretty incredible? Last week, I hit 77 mile. Now, for most of you, like, oh, 77 mile, but for me, that's massive. Remember, I'm that guy that ran 330 off of 25 mile a week, and lots of cross training. This used to be my everything, this thing here. I did everything on there, and there is gonna be a video on this soon, because I might even do it later on today, because I wanna do a session on how you can get the most out of this machine here, because it does simulate running. You use every muscle group pretty much, bar your calves. You're not getting like the pounding on the ground, which is what helps you run. But because I'm going off topic, I'm meant to be speaking about the goals of the season, going off topic, but I am going to quickly mention it. When you cross train, you're physically using in terms of the actual movement, you're bracing this area here, which is super important. You're then having to drop your shoulders, you're having to drive your arms, and you're having to run in that sort of movement. Most cross trainers, you don't want to use a cycle one. You want the movements out like a piston gun. So up, down, up, down, up, down. That's the movement you want. And I did everything on this. I do a lot less now, and I hit 77 mile last week, and I even backed off my long run. I only did 4 miles. I was meant to do 12, so I was going to be up in excess of 80 mile a week, and I went for the scan as a precaution. So I mean, it's pretty damn insane, man. To think I've ever got to that kind of mileage. My theory is that if I'm going to be competitive with these boys, I need to be running more. Running's a skill. I'm not going to be a world champion by cycling, or by rowing, or by swimming. I'm going to do it by running more. I need to just get that clicking. You just get more efficient at it. I'm waffling again. Let's try get back on track. So what are my short-term goals of the season? In truth, the main one, my first short-term goal is actually not to get injured during the month of October, November. I want to get through this period injury-free, because damn, I'm just so fed up of being injured. I always get confused because I'm always injured at this point. I associate it with really down time of the year. I'm not sure if I have that sad seasonal depression disorder, or if I'm just always injured at this time of year. I think it's the injuries, but we'll see. So first goal is to not get injured during the next 8 weeks. Luckily, my scan results came back this morning, and they said everything looks good. I listen to the warning signs, and normally I ignore them. I just try and run through them, and boom, issues. The next goal was to increase my running capacity. I'm very good at pushing myself. I'm not very good at knowing when to stop. I just push, and before you know it, issue, I'm that idiot. Increase mileage, done that already. We hit 65 last week, 77 the week just gone, and then this week will probably be high 50s, maybe low 60s, and then the following week we'll get back up to the 70s, and I'm gonna see if I can maintain that for about 10 weeks and see where we end up. I mean, I'm 30 now, and I still believe I can be the best, and I still haven't proved it yet, which is probably sounds a little bit crazy to you guys, but don't know. I feel like, and while I still believe it, while my body's still improving, while I still feel strong, and while I still feel quick, and I feel like a little bit of the Benjamin Button syndrome. I used to wake up out of bed and I'd have to hobble for like the first hour. I'm less and less. I can run more, can do so much more now. But then that might be because I can access less, so I can't push my body as far. I don't know. We'll find out in the years to come. But one thing I do know is that I'm far more consistent than I've ever been, and it's exciting. Next up, the long-term goals is, of course, the 1500 is now my baby. That's the event I'm going for. There's no if buts maybes. That's what we're going for now. We want to make the 1500 our goal. We want to make it special, and we want to make it so that we can try and run a minimum of 329 next year, potentially 328, and then if we can get into those kind of realms. The truth is, I'm not trying to run a quick time. I just know if I'm going to win a race, that's the kind of times I have to be trying to achieve. Milo's chewing on a bone out there, and it's quite loud. Milo, can you take it out? Out. Good boy. Yes, so the main goal is a 1500 world champs, and hopefully have an indoor season. I mean, I keep getting injured, so I didn't do the last couple of years, and the 2 years before that, I believe I was the best in the world in the two years prior to that, the last 2 years. And again, I still kept picking up injuries. I'm bloody fed up of injuries, but again, a good athlete is an athlete that can navigate the injuries. So it's all well and good saying that you believe you can be the best, but I mean, I'm not proving it. So talk's cheap, isn't it? And there has to come a point when I do things like I did the other day, where when I feel a warning sign, like my calf being twingy, you just stop. Yeah, I don't have any, I mean, I've probably got what, 3 to 5 years left, 3 really good years, guaranteed, I'd say. So it'll be interesting to see how the body develops over the coming years. But yeah, 1500 is the main goal. We're doing everything a lot more scientific now. So in the sense that before I just push, now we're going more heart rate and lactate based. So all of our runs, which is why I've also got the treadmill, everything wants to be controlled. So we're trying to use the lactates to gauge how hard we can push. So if coach says he wants a 5-minute mile, that's gone out the window now. We're working off, he wants my lactates to be in a certain region. And we're doing that to stop me from pushing myself too hard, because I've got the stupid personality type that wants to always push and hurt, which fundamentally isn't gonna make you run quick. It just means that you're an idiot, really, because it means you've got a big set of balls that breaks down all the time. Who cares? And so we're going off that take now. And it just knows that when we're doing our tempos, we're hovering in around the 2 millimoles, and when we're doing our LTPs, we want to be under 2, and when we're doing our runs, we want to be sort of super low. And then we're not measuring it when we're doing stuff like hill sessions and the higher intensity, but we're trying to cover every mark. So we're trying to cover every intensity. So we have our day where we do our overpace, so like our speed drills, and then we're trying to do our slower runs that are like 7 minutes, 7:30s, and then we're doing parts where we're running at like 5:30 pace, and then we're running at 5:10 pace, and then we're doing little bits where we're around the 6-minute pace, and we're just trying to cover every part of training. So we're not doing just speed, we're not just doing tempo, and we're not just doing high end tempo alone, and we're trying to do a little bit of everything in an abundance and being consistent with it. So we're not trying to set any records or run any PBs this winter. We're no longer doing a test week, which we used to do once every 4 weeks to see where we're at. We're just trying to be consistent. We're just trying to be better than we were the previous year, in the sense that how much are we stacking? Because we're in the building phase. We're not in the phase to tick boxes in terms of hitting PBs. That comes later in the year. So we kind of periodize training in a different way now, which will be interesting to see if it works. Will it work? I don't know. I hope so. I believe so. I've never trained this way. I mean, training actually feels quite easy now. The only part that's hard is acclimatizing to the extra load in my legs. I'm not used to feeling this tired. It can be a bit boring. It can be very boring. Let's move on. So luckily I'm in a position where I have a bloody good network. I have a cracking network where my coaches still believes in me. My family are pretty incredible, and I've got a bloody good sponsor in the sense that I'm supported very well by my team and being Nike. So without that, it's obviously not possible. And then in addition to that, I've got a very good and solid plan. And it's really weird. This year, I actually feel like I'm in a different coaching setup, even though I'm still with the same coach. I don't know, it just feels like we're in a sort of different team. Which is wild when I think about it. The goals are this year, we're going to go to Dolstrom, which is high and boring, because I'm running more miles now, it makes sense. So we're going to go to Dolstrom in 10 days roughly. On the 11th, we're going to spend 4.5 weeks there, and then we're going to come back for 2.5 weeks, spend some time with the family, catch up with the gang, and then go back out again on the day after Sebi's birthday. Sebi turns 2 on the 29th, 30th. Oh, I'm so bad with dates. I got issues, man. I'm so got issues with dates. I shouldn't be admitting that. But yeah, anyway, we then fly out on the 1st of January, and I'm back out there for 4 weeks, and then we race indoors, and then we'll see what we can do. Probably going to be running the 1500. It's looking that way. But again, if we run the 1500, great. And if we don't, we run the 8. Strong possibility I will run the 800 indoors, because it's my bread and butter indoors. I really understand how to run the event, and that's a video in itself. I really, really do understand the 800 when it comes to tactics. My body sometimes says otherwise, as it's shown in the past, and I failed on many occasions, because sometimes in the outdoors you can make mistakes and not get away with it. In the indoors, you can command your position, you can be less of an athlete, and you can still win the damn race. It's just about where you put yourself and where you put in your effort, and you can play people like, I'm not going to finish it off, but you can play people massively, and it's just about knowing how to run the bends and the straights in the indoors. You don't have to be as good as the next person to win the race. So indoors will be on the horizon, providing I don't pick up an injury next month, and then of course outdoors there'll be another camp as well. And if anybody is interested, hey, come and join us. I know what my goals are. Is to build a bigger base than I've ever built, to be stronger than I've ever built, is to go and get some sun. And also the one key thing that I have to stress is that I am taking more supplements now, in the sense that I'm always deficient. I'm mixed race, and if anybody out there is mixed race also, I can't stress enough that when you are mixed, you're more susceptible for being deficient in vitamin D, especially when you are mixed, and that's what the doctors have told us. So I'm now taking vitamin D, I'm taking my omegas, and magnesium, which makes a big difference. And also another thing that I found is a huge difference also is that when you run more and in the cold, you don't realize that you're sweating as much, and you don't think you need to drink as much. I'm now using electrolytes like you wouldn't believe, and I've been using the Pure Sport ones because the sodium content in them is insane. It's almost double everybody else's, and they do taste a little bit salty, but you're not in this for taste. You're not, if you're in it for taste, go and eat a bloody Haribo. You're in it because of the performance benefits it gives you. So I've been using the Pure Sports electrolytes, mainly because you want to use the best in the market. With the vitamin D and magnesiums, etc., there's obviously the much of a muchness, but in terms of the content of the salts and the sodium in the actual salts you need to reduce calf tears, muscle tears, calf tears in my case, yeah, that's the one you want to be using. So yeah, that's the supplements I'm now using, and I've actually found it's made a difference. I think magnesium's helping me sleep better, vitamin D is helping me stay healthier and function more, and then omegas are just good for you for everything, even down to your skin. Like the omegas, if you're stocking up, and then your skin is better. And then of course the electrolytes, because I'm going through far too many a day, and one day my liver and kidneys might not thank me. I'm not sure which one of the two, but keeping you healthy, you'd rather have too much salts than sugar in my opinion, even though the doctors will tell you otherwise. I'd say sugar's the devil, not necessarily salts. Until next time, that's a load of waffle from me. I apologize in advance, but that is our plans and goals for the season. Next time you see this place, you'll have a nice treadmill in here. It'll be in my man cave, and when I come back after my next training camp, this is where I'll be doing most of my running, because I don't want to be running outside in the roads. When we're doubling at the moment, I just don't want to be running on the trail in the dark with a head torch. I'd much rather run in a safer environment, and this will be my place of fun, if you like. But until next time, enjoy, see you later, au revoir. And in the next two, yeah, I'll be in the sun. It'll be in the sun. Ciao for now.